A new national mental health and suicide prevention hotline is now active. As Detroit Now's Chris Walker explains, the 988 crisis line aims to help people in distress.
It's been 12 years since Kevin Fisher lost his son, Dominique. It's a wound that has not healed. In 2007, Dominique was diagnosed as bipolar schizophrenic.
After struggling, trying to understand the mental health care system and treatment and all of that, unfortunately, on June 27th of 2010, we lost him to suicide.
Kevin found solace in action. He became an advocate for the National Alliance for Mental Illness, or NAMI.
We lost about 45,000 people to suicide in 2020. If 90% of them showed some symptom of mental illness prior to their death, and we had an opportunity to intervene, that basically means we can save about 40,000 of those lives.
Recent mass shootings are sparking conversations about mental health.
People who are diagnosed with a mental illness account for less than 4% of all gun violence in this country. About half of that are suicides. It's suicide by use of firearm.
But now getting help can be as easy as 3 digits. People in crisis can call or text 988 to reach a mental health specialist.
Knowing that there are resources is what makes the difference, and helping people connect with those resources is ultimately going to help save lives.
Kevin says it's important to understand the challenges of mental illness.
Most people, as I mentioned before, who live with mental illness are not violent, are not a threat to themselves or others. But untreated mental illness can be dangerous. Not every mass shooter has a mental illness. And when we think about what happened in Buffalo, New York, where this young man, it was an ideology issue, maybe not a mental health issue, where he said, I want to kill Black people. Racism is not a mental illness.
Fisher says you are not alone.
When 1 in 5 adults and 1 in 6 teenagers are affected by mental illness, that's like 60 to 70 million people. So when you hear the terminology, you are not alone, you really are not. You know, that's almost a quarter of our population.
Reporting in Detroit, Chris Walker, Detroit Now News at 10.